I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Most of you actually didn't just show up. You had some kind of a role in the project, and for that we're very grateful. I do want to just mention a few people by name. I'll forget some of you, and if I do, I apologize. But let me thank you in advance for all your hard work, because clearly everybody did work incredibly hard on this project, and I think it shows. First of all, I want to thank our general contractor, who is they're not off the job yet, but they tell me they're going to be out of here soon. Walker and Company. They've done a really fine job. I'm happy with the quality here. I think that they did it on their own initiative. They're proud of what they build, and I love working with them. Our lenders, Dave, I've lost you somewhere. Dave Curran with Regis is here in the blue blazer. Imagine that. And we want to thank you for believing in us and the project, and helping provide the capital so that we could get this done. The architects, MSA, I'm sure somebody's here from them. We thank you for the design. You put your heart and soul in it. It's great. The landscape architects, I love these guys. I've worked with them for decades. Dix Lathrop, and we fight tooth and nail all the way through these projects every time, and the end result is it's always worth it. So I want to thank you, Jamie and Jeff. I don't know if you're here, but thanks for doing another great job. I think this part's one of the best things we've ever done together. RTKL, yeah, sure, why not? RTKL did the interior designs, and according to Jorge Pérez, they did okay. He's pretty proud of the work. So that means a lot coming from him, so I want to thank you for your creativity. We don't have a lot of money to spend on these projects, and sometimes it's a real challenge to try to deliver this level of design with the kind of dollars that we have to work with. The list of engineers goes on and on. Most importantly, there's a guy, he's not the biggest man in the crowd, but he's got the biggest heart that I want to thank, and that's Arturo Peña. He is the guy that made this entire project work, and he deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Art. I hope this is something that you can be proud of, and come back over the years and really feel good about what you've done here. Certainly Darren Montgomery and our whole team, I want to thank all of you for everything that you've done. I think, Related is a unique company, and I'm so happy that I've been able to be there. We get to build incredible projects like this. We're passionate about design, about placemaking, and sometimes even making money. But the most important thing, it's interesting, George provides a lot of guidance for me to get through the projects that we do, and I think one of the most impactful things that he ever told me was that Steve, it's good to build great projects, but that's not what we do at Related. And I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, we help build great cities. And he made me think bigger about what we do. And I think this park is an example of that. I hope that this makes this neighborhood even better, and projects like this create momentum to make this city even better. So thank you all for your contributions. And without dragging this out any further, I'd like to introduce my boss, the Chairman and CEO of Related Group, Jorge Pérez.
Thank you, Steve. I'm going to be very brief. I always say I'm going to be very brief, and then I just keep on going. This is all, to me, you know what, I think I understand why we are great real estate developers. And it's because what these projects mean. I walk by this project, and it's not about the concrete and so forth. It's about what it means. It just makes you feel so proud, when Arturo Peña and Steve Patterson have worked so hard in this, come in and we finish this, and it's not a job, it's totally part and parcel of what we are. It's our DNA, and every time it comes out like this, there's a pride. It's almost like I feel like a child is born, right? It's an amazing job. So my kudos to Steve and Arturo, who really have done all the heavy lifting, to the designers and the contractors that have produced this beautiful thing. It's something that I'm very, very, very proud of. It's what Related is about, and what it will always be about. We stand for this, for quality, right? And then Steve is going to mention most people and thank them. I always want to thank our lenders, Dave Kern and Lisa Reeves from Bank of America and Regions, who without them we couldn't be building all these things, So thank you for trusting us for so many years. And then I just want to, Steve is going to introduce the mayor. The city of Tampa is an amazing city that we want to do a lot more with, We create great urban spaces. It's not about a project, but how they all interact and make great cities, We want people to move to downtown. We want people to live the 24-hour cities. We don't want people to be commuting an hour to get to their work. We want people to finish up at 5 o'clock and go to the neighborhood bar and sit with their neighbors, and do all those things within walking and biking distance. And I hope we'll be able to contribute that to Tampa. We love Tampa. It's always been a city that has a great employment base. The mayor I know is extremely proactive to try to get, high-paying jobs into urban areas so people can live like this, I just want to end up by saying, since my early career, as an affordable housing developer, I always felt that art, and open spaces made people's lives much better. They used to say, but you're getting this building and you're covering it with trees, And I said, believe me, there isn't a building that looks as good as a tree, And if you look at our older jobs, they look like jungles, And that's very important. The breathing spaces, the places for meditation, and this park is absolutely beautiful for the size that it is. It's a place that one would like to come in and get out of your house and read a book, And that's what parks should be, or sit with your children and have a picnic. And the second thing that has been very important to us, and we've been known as a company, is art, And I believe art makes my life better. That's why I've been collecting since I was in high school, and I think it makes people's lives better. Artists are people that express the 20th century, the past and the future better than anybody, and they bring soul to things. That's why many times when I sit with mayors and commissioners, and they always say, we can't fund this for the arts because we have children that are in need of education and we have poor people in need of housing and so forth. And I understand that. And I say those are the physical needs of people, but art is the emotional need of people, and it was what makes you grow and understand things better. And it's very important for people to be surrounded by it. So I'm very proud, that this project has been infused by art, and that it's a public and private partnership with a park and with the arts. So we have some of the artists here, and I just want to take a second to thank Dominic Martinez and Christina Lorenz for the strength of the hall and the momentum of steel, great sculpture. To Christian Sampson of Sarasota for the solar light projection. Portal, all the way from London. And the Resurrection, Ray Nager from Tampa also. So, thank you, for making this beautiful place better, So I'm just very excited and very proud to be here. And I hope we get to do a lot more in Tampa. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I remember the first meeting that we had with the city when we started talking about this project, and it was a little scary. You never know what you're going to get when you walk into some municipalities, and I'll have to tell you, there were some negotiations that took place early on that were difficult, but the end result was, I think, a win-win for everybody. And the city of Tampa has done absolutely everything they told us they would do and more, and I want to thank you for that. Bob McDonough, I don't know where you are, but Bob is, he's a guy that just makes things happen. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, anytime that we just couldn't find a solution, we called Bob, and for him it was never an obstacle. It was every time it was an opportunity. And Bob, I just appreciate all that you've done on this project. Mike Callahan he was so instrumental in the design work of the project. Every every detail, every bush. I think he's looked at all of it, scrutinized it, and the project is certainly better for it. I have the pleasure, well, sometimes displeasure, to work in a lot of cities in what I do, and they're all different. And some are downright dysfunctional, but there's one common denominator in the successful cities, and I'm not just talking about cities that are easy to build in, because I don't really want that. I want a city where quality projects get built in the right way, in the right place, at the right time. But the one common denominator with these cities that work is strong leadership. And I have to tell you, I am so impressed with Mayor Buckhorn and what he's been able to accomplish in his short time here. I can't wait to see what happens in the future. I know he's got a lot of big plans, but you are incredibly fortunate to have a mayor like this at the helm, because that's how cities get great. It's great people like Mayor Buckhorn. And Mayor, if you wouldn't mind, come up and say a couple words.
Steve, thank you. And I am blessed from having studied and followed and learned from other great mayors, one of whom is sitting right there, former Mayor Dick Greco, and his wife, Dr. Linda McClintock Greco. I got to tell you, this is an exciting day for me, not just because I get to cut a ribbon, which all of you know that I love to do, but I was there when we turned the first shovel of dirt. And for us to be here today with Jorge Pérez and related, and to know that the man who almost single-handedly sculpted the skyline of Miami, creating an iconic product and an iconic brand, believed in this community enough that he was willing to come here and to join with us on what I think is an amazing journey for this city. I was just in Denver over the weekend with a group of mayors, and I can tell you that there is a buzz about this community like there has never been before. There's a sense of hope, there's a sense of optimism. There, most importantly, is a sense of destiny about what this city is going to be. And they say, when you build for the future. That's exactly what Related does. This is such an amazing product at such an amazing time for this community that we are standing here today, I think not at the end of this journey, but only at the beginning. Our future over the next decade, this community, this skyline, you will not recognize 10 years from now. You will not recognize it. There's a sense of hope, there's a sense of optimism, there's a belief that we can be so much bigger, so much better, so much stronger, so much more prominent than we have ever been before. This is our time. And that's with no disrespect meant to any other city, but this is our time. This is when we stand up with the help of people like Jorge Pérez and Related, and we say we're not asking anybody's permission anymore. We are moving forward, full throttle. We do not have any brakes on this car. We're going to get there. Not only are we leading this state in the number of jobs created, I think what we're leading the state in, more importantly, is a belief that our best days are yet to come. The physical structure, the sense of place, the pedestrian environment, the retail experience, that's important. That's what makes cities. That's what gives us our heart and our soul. It's not about the bricks and the mortar. It's about a sense of place. What you see here is a sense of place. Jorge, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I want Related's iconic structures dotting every corner of this community. We just fixed Channelside. You're up to bat. This really is our time. We're not asking permission anymore. We're not standing still. We're not settling for anything other than excellence. Welcome to excellence. Thank you, Jorge.
Wow, George, sounds like we got to get busy. That was definitely a challenge. I have in front of me a very large pair of scissors. George, if you wouldn't mind coming up, we're going to cut some ribbon now.
All right. 2, 3.
There we go.
The park is open.